I want to take you back, Coach, and I know we could spend 2 weeks talking about all the X's and O's and the good plays, the bad plays, and all those different things. But specifically, me as a young guy, I'm watching the 2007 Fiesta Bowl, and a game that I know is
I see
probably
that
very near to
Oklahoma. I
your.
see that
Oh
Oklahoma
yeah,
number.
no doubt, no doubt. And I'm watching this game. I want to know from your perspective that kind of the ending part of the game, specifically the Statue of Liberty, but the hook and ladder, the trick plays, and I know everybody's got that on their call sheet, but to have the guts to go out there and call those plays, and then for your guys to execute them, and for the defense to be perfect, just all the little things that go into making those plays successful. Walk us through some of those decisions coming through the headset with you and your offensive staff, and then how it played out there in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first of all, that's a little bit of our style, kind of who we were anyways, in terms of taking chances and just going for it. That's the first thing. Our mentality was a little bit like that, always at Boise anyways. The second thing is, I mean, let's be realistic. We were not going to be able to line up and beat Oklahoma running power or ISO at those guys all game long. Although we did have a physical team, we really did. We had a good team, but again, we weren't going to match up that way to them. So a little bit of those two things, when you think about those things. The second thing, kind of starting with the hook and ladder, that really was not that difficult of a call because the time we had, there was I can't remember, 15 seconds or 18 seconds. We had to score. We didn't have time to we had to score. We had to score now. I think it was 3rd and 18. So not only do we have to get the first down, we were running out of time even in the game. And so the hook and ladder, we had practiced for 5 years straight, right? Every Friday we're practicing that thing. And it was the favorite part of practice for the guys. And they, half the time it's on air, but sometimes we run against our defense and we'd get close, but they'd seen it enough. So we never got the full execution of it. So when we called that play, it was really we didn't have another better play. That was the good play. The second thing is when we scored, I thought about going for 2 right then and there. Because I'm like, we got momentum because we had the lead, had momentum, lost the lead, lost momentum, got the momentum back. And it's, the game is so much about momentum. I'm thinking, let's go. And so I'm thinking, and I stepped out on the field to, it's going to turn around and go, okay, let's go for 2. And there was so much pandemonium and guys were going so nuts. And the PAT field goal team's running out there that I'm like, oh, forget it. Let's just kick it. I kind of chickened out. And so I remember thinking, gosh, should I have gone for 2 right then and there? Well, we go into overtime then. And the first play, Oklahoma gets the ball. And Adrian Peterson, who had been hurt a lot of the year from a collarbone, was coming back. That was his game. And he was just getting warmed up. I mean, as we're going, he's starting to hit his stride. First play of overtime, off tackle, 25 yards, untouched. And I'm like, if we score, we are going for 2. I mean, in my mind, no doubt now. If we can score, it is over. So we do score. And so it's interesting. Our backup quarterbacks all game long, the Statue of Liberty was actually a red zone play and hash specific, right hash specific. So our backup quarterbacks, they kept calling, hey, coach, don't, they're in the head, there are signals, don't forget about Statue when we'd be in the red zone. And we're like, Brian Harson's the coordinator. And it's like, yeah, well, we're on it, but we never could get on either the right down and distance situation or we're on the wrong hash all game long. And so when we score to go for 2, everybody throws it in. And it's like, let's use Statue. We haven't used it. And it's like, let's do it. So we call Statue, and it's a quick huddle break. And we got trips because we'd thrown the bubble screen out of that earlier in the game. And we'd show that a bunch of quick huddle break. Tempo wasn't as big back then. Quick huddle break, tempo throw to the bubble screen. So we do that, quick huddle break, boom. And you can see it's lined up and we're looking good. And they call timeout. And so they come to the sideline and I'm like, then I start getting scared. I'm like, hey, we think we're good here? Like, I no doubt 30 seconds earlier, this is going to be great. We're going to walk in and now they call timeout. And I'm like, are we good? And one of our coaches on the headphones, I think it was our receiver coach, MPs, is like, hell yes, we're good. And I'm like, kind of startled me right back, like, okay. And so then we run into works. And then, I got with Bob Stoops later and we kind of watched that. We did a thing for Fox where we watched it and he said, the corner is actually supposed to blitz off the edge. And I'm like, huh? Like had he come in here, I would have probably had egg all over my face. And I'm the worst coach in America. And what a bozo trying that in that stage. And so, yeah, a little bit about that game.